Hey everybody, welcome back to episode number 2 of Automate It. Today we're back with Kent and Pranav, and I think Pranav has another lesson for us today. We're still waiting to hear from you, Kent. You gonna teach us something ever or what?
Yeah, the next one is mine. I got it.
Okay, all right, fine. So Pranav, why don't you go ahead and reintroduce yourself to everybody really quick, just so they're familiar with who you are.
Hi, this is Pranav Rastogi. I work on the Power Cat team. This is the customer advisory team. And I've been focusing on automation, RPA, sort of machine learning, hiking, boating, kayaking this weekend. So, yeah,
Nice. Nice.
here I am.
That's an awesome job. Boating and kayaking along with those. Great. I love it. Kent, how about you? Introduce yourself real quick.
My name's Kent Weir. I'm also a PM on the PowerCat team, where I'm focused on Power Automate, RPA, Power Virtual Agents, and AI Builder as well.
Awesome. And for those of you guys who aren't familiar with me, my name's John Levesque. I'm the senior evangelist for the Power Platform. All right, so Pranav last week showed us how to be a command line genius using RPA. Today, what are you going to teach us, sir?
Today, John, I'm going to be teaching you how to get started with SAP. So this is a very basic introduction of how do you automate SAPs. And
Okay, so
remember the wings that we were trying to order?
yeah,
This is how you place an order from pick your favorite wing company. Once you
okay.
pull them up, they're gonna, type it into SAP their purchase order, and there you go.
Yo, Wing Dome. Let's go with them. I like them. They got good wings. But hey, I'm going to be honest with you, Pranav. I've never actually seen SAP before. Would you mind to maybe just do a quick primer for people who are like me?
Absolutely.
I know I'm probably going to get some flack for that. Some of the SAP people are going to be like, "What? You've never seen SAP?" It's true. I've never had the opportunity or the requirement.
Yeah, just very quickly, like why do we care about SAP? So SAP is a key ERP system in your organization. Like it's a very critical component. All of your company's sort of financial data, order data, cataloging data, sort of goes into this central uh, database, and it's fairly mission critical. Like your end of year or end of month financial reporting, your sales, everything sort of happens in SAP, and so
Wow.
this is very critical from an automation perspective.
Okay.
And this is what the SAP experience looks like. First you would log on to this SAP GUI. It's a Windows application that lets you pick your SAP server. In this case, I've chosen S4 HANA 3, and then I entered my username password, which brought me here into this experience. And here, as you can see, there are different uh, applications that you can have within the SAP. There's the accounting department, which does financial accounting. You can also have this concept of codes. So these are codes that exist in SAP for certain functions. Miro, for example, is a code to do invoice reporting. So imagine that your company gets goods from certain suppliers, and then they send you an invoice. So you have to send them a payment or something. So you can start tracking those invoices within your SAP system. So here I'm looking up that company code. I'm going to enter the company code over here, and then I can enter the invoice information. What was the date? What was the number? I could also sort of combine the scenario with AI Builder, where invoices are coming over email as attachments, as PDF attachments, and the AI Builder forms processing model is extracting the invoice number, date, and then entering it into SAP using the RPA, Power Automate RPA as well. So that's basically why SAP is so critical, and and we're going to learn about how to automate SAP in multiple steps in RPA. And in this specific episode, we'll just learn about just getting started and how to automate an experience which gets you to this screen
Cool.
over here. Does that
Okay.
work,
Awesome.
John?
Yeah, I think that sounds good, and this is a good primer. It's good to get to see an interface a little bit, just if you've never had a look at it.
Perfect. Uh, so a few key tips that I wanted to show you was, this is SAP GUI 760 version. And a few things that you want to sort of learn about over here is You want to enable, just as a best practice, SAP comes with different kinds of themes. So let's look at a theme. So Belize theme is a theme that works well from an UI automation perspective. It has a lot more of the accessibility APIs, and it's a modern theme that SAP has added. So make sure you're using Belize theme and the latest version of SAP GUI, which is SAP 760 in this case, before you sort of get started with RPA. And so I'm going to exit out of this screen over here. Log off. And I'm going to leave the screen open because we'll start automating from this particular screen. I'm going to go to my Power Automate portal, and I'm going to create a new desktop app. We call it John Wings Corp 1.
I feel like you're really good at naming flows, Pranav.
Well, yes, with you, I'm the best, John. And the first item that I want to enter over here is the SAP server name. In this case, the name that I showed you was S4 HANA 3. The next step is entering what we call the client ID in SAP. This is 000 client ID. Then we're going to pass in the SAP user name. In our case, it's going to be test this username. And then the last one is going to be the SAP password. And since this is sensitive data, I'm using a feature called sensitive text, which masks the password and it doesn't log it anywhere, so it's not visible. And then you can also pass in these details from Azure Key Vault from a Power Automate flow. The next step is going to be around recording my steps. And my strategy over here is going to be, I'm going to break down my recording into two logical scopes. The first scope is going to be around clicking this S4 HANA 3, and the second scope is going to be around using the username password to log in. So let's go ahead and launch the recorder. And as a best practice, I sort of maximize the screen. So this is launching the recorder. And the strategy I'm going to have over here is, SAP in general, as an app, you can drive the SAP UI through various interactions. You can either click on a button, or you can use tabs, or you can use keyboard shortcuts. Depending on where you are in SAP, some of these elements are exposed as APIs, so you can click, but some of them might not be exposed to the DOM. So there you might have to use keyboard shortcuts and tabs to work around it. So here, since I have multiple servers, the first step I'm going to do is just filter to the server that I want to log into. So I'm going to hit record. I'm going to click on my application. Let's hit record again. Click on the app. Click on the filter button, input box. Use the input, SAP server name. Type it into this filter box. And you would see that now it filters to the server, to the only server I have. So I'm going to click on the server and I'm going to press enter. Since we don't have double click, you can press enter to drive the SAP interaction. And you would see that a new screen will pop up. This is the screen that's going to take in the username password. I'm going to stop recording here, so I'm going to say done. And the reason I'm stopping recording is because I wanted to break down my recording into two different steps. since there was a different window launched, it helps me modularize my UI flows better. And if I have to go back and re-record, I only have to re-record a few of the steps versus the whole flow.
Nice.
And here, basically, I'm going to save this recording so far.
Make sure you guys pay special attention to that last tip. Breaking up your flow and making it modular will save you so much time and energy in the future.
And you can also sort of, rename this and call it like SAP server selection. So you get all the benefits that you have in flows around, naming it more user-friendly. So in a complex workflow, you kind of have an idea as to what's happening over here. So I'm going to create a new step, and I'm going to say launch recorder. Keep my SAP login screen up. And I'm going to hit the record button. I'm going to get focus on this SAP login screen. I'm going to hit the text box where the client is, and then I'm going to use the input for client ID. And this is going to input 000. And then instead of clicking, I can also do tab, which sets the focus on the user field. And I can say use input and select the username and click on the user text box. So this will enter the username. Then I can click the password field. I can say input. Then I can say SAP password. I can click on the password field, and it's going to type out the password over here. And then I can press enter, which is going to use that username password, and it's going to log in to the SAP application. And so here, then I can sort of do any further operation around like generating POs or accounts payable or like financial reports. Any other interaction I want to do, I can do it over here. And we'll be covering it more of these details in the further videos. But I just wanted to show you how you can get started with SAP. So I'm going to click done over here. And I'm going to go back to my flow. And I will rename this to SAP login. And I'm going to change one setting, which is around launch application. This is something that we saw in our previous videos. Instead of launch applications, yes, I'm going to say it to no, because each time my flow runs, it'll start from the server screen and it'll launch the login screen. And when I set it to no, the UI flow will attach to the existing window that was already launched instead of launching new windows. So this is a good way of, a good strategy to have, whether you want to attach to an existing window or launch a new window. At the beginning of the flow, you would see that I have launch applications, yes. So that's when I'm launching a net new app. But at the end of the flow, I will attach to existing applications. So let me go ahead and exit out of SAP. The last step here would be to close the app as well, but let's see it running. So let's save it, and let's hit next. So this is saving my UI flow. Don't worry, John, we're gonna order your pizza. and make sure your company makes money out of that.
I mean, I had no joy last week, man. Denied twice. Now I'm ready. I'm ready for some wings this time.
And so let's hit test. I've been so hungry now. So this launches the first screen that we record. This was the first logical scope that we had, where we'll filter on the server name. So here it's gone ahead and typed the server name. Then this is a second window that's launched. And so we are now running the second scope that we had defined, where we were going to enter our username and password. Here we, when we had clicked So this is the actual recording, playback of the actual recording. So it has the same wait time that was there when we had recorded it. I'll show you how we can optimize it after we are done with this playback as well.
Okay.
And so here what we recorded was, how we can use both clicks and tabs as a way to, drive this UI. And so here we're using click for client. And so we entered client 000. When we tabbed over, this is for the username. And then similarly for password, we typed in the password, and then we hit enter. And then this was the end of the execution of the flow. So if you go back to our SAP screen, you will see that now we have logged into SAP, and we can do either purchase order scenarios or accounts payable or any of these other scenarios that we had. But going back to our recording, I just wanted to show you what all was recorded over here. So the first logical scope for us was to record the first screen, which was selecting the SAP server. In this case, we launched the application. Then we entered the text where we filtered on, and then we hit enter. And then the second scope that we had was around entering in username, password. So we, launched this screen, and then we entered username, password over here. And if you go back to our recording, you'll see that I'm not launching this app, I'm attaching to it. So this is a key point to remember is as you're recording across different applications, these applications might have multiple screens. And so you're going to follow this best practice where you launch the first one and then you keep attaching to the next ones over there. And keep everything in a scope, because here, let's say the SAP login experience has changed, or I have to edit a few scripts. I don't have to update how the server was launched or the next steps, which be around closing the app and stuff. So it's a good way to modularize your UI flows. And secondly, I wanted to point you out, like for each of these steps, if you were to drill down, like this left click, we have some of these advanced settings, which is key of them is the wait after action. So this is the amount of time the UI flow playback engine is going to wait for. And so if you want to accelerate your playback, you can reduce it down, or if you want to add some more delays based on how responsive your app is or not, you can play around with this setting as a further optimization that you can do.
Nice. Cool. So that makes it a lot easier. That makes it way easier, because that was one of the big questions I had was, can we speed it up? Because like you said, it records at the pace that you are doing it, that you are recording at. It doesn't speed it up for you. And so I'm glad to see that, that some of that delay can be cut down. I think that's helpful.
Absolutely. And this is one of those critical decision points based on the apps that you have, like given RPA is going to be around automating lots of legacy applications. Each one of them might have a different response rate.
Definitely.
Given that they were built sort of back in time. So going back, this is what sort of I wanted to close on is basically cool. Like when you're dealing with SAP, SAP is a mission critical database from a business perspective. It covers all business departments. So do use the latest version of the GUI. It has more accessibility APIs in the Belize theme. When you're in the server screen, try to narrow it down to the server that you want to log into by searching for it. Some of the SAP controls might not be discoverable through the DOM. And so you might have to drive it through keyboard shortcuts or tabs or arrow keys instead of clicks. Use enter when you want to use double click. Use scopes to modularize your UI flows, and next few videos will also show you how to have conditional logics as well. Use sensitive text for passwords to mask your sensitive information, and then make sure that when you record, you also record a closing SAP app step at the end of it. So what we showed you here was, launch SAP, login. We didn't show you a closing step, so you could add a new step over here. And then you could have gone to the screen and just click the close button, and then that would have closed the SAP screen. It's a good practice to close the app also when you're done. So each state is a fresh start.
Definitely. Awesome, man. You have covered it all here. I think this was fantastic. Thanks, Pranav, for sharing this with everyone, for sharing it with me, for giving me my first little dose of SAP. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I hope you get your wings ordered soon, John.
I'm going to go and call and order some right now. You guys at home watching, be sure to check the description. We'll have helpful links down there for you to use and get more information. Also, be sure to click like and subscribe to the channel. And last but not least, leave us some comments. Let us know what things you'd like to see on the next show of Automate It. All right, Pranav, thanks for joining me again today. I'll see you soon, buddy.
Thank you.